Our first guest is a talented actor who was featured in a new music documentary entitled I Trust You to Kill Me. It premieres November 11th at 9 p.m. on VH1. Here's Kiefer Sutherland, ladies and gentlemen. I was told about something today that I can't believe, and maybe you'll clear this up for me, but that there's an addition to your family, which is great, but that you actually are now a grandfather.
Yes, I have a grandson. It's a little complicated.
Well, good for you. How is it complicated? How does it work?
I was very young when I got married. I was 20 years old, and I married Camellia Kath, and she was a little older than I was, and she had an 8-year-old daughter whose father had died when she was 3. Her father was a phenomenal guitar player for the band Chicago, and his name was Terry Kath, and I've raised their daughter since she was 8.
Right.
And she met a young actor on a film that I was making, and they became friends, lied to me for about 2 years about seeing each other.
So you thought maybe something was up at the time, but they didn't tell you?
No, but everybody I knew on 3 continents did, so it was pretty hard to hide it.
Had you cautioned either one about the relationship?
I think he probably had an understanding of my reaction, yeah, which is probably why he lied for a couple of years. But then he was wonderful. He came over to the U.S. and asked for her hand in marriage, and who was I to say no?
Yes.
So, and now they have a beautiful 1.5-year-old boy.
Wow, good for you. Well, that's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And can I ask how old you are?
I am almost 40.
Almost, and have a grandson.
Yeah.
Is it a grandson?
I'm sorry?
Grandson.
Grandson,
yes. Well, congratulations
Thank
again.
you very much.
That's very nice. Tell me a little bit about your father, Donald Sutherland, who, me being older than you, I remember seeing Donald Sutherland in one great film after another.
And you won't find a better actor.
Yeah, did you know that at the time?
Well, I found out, actually, the way I found out, I was about 18 years old when VHS kind of hit the market. And I was obviously too young to watch a lot of the films like MASH, Don't Look Now, 1900, just phenomenal movies. And so when I was 18, I managed to get them all on videotape. And I remember I watched Fellini's Casanova, 1900, Don't Look Now, MASH, Kelly's Heroes, all in like 2 or 3 days. And I was just amazed at the versatility and just how amazingly talented he was as an actor. And then I was embarrassed that I didn't know that as his son. And I remember one of the nicest moments we had, I phoned him to tell him that I was embarrassed about that. And it kind of brought us closer together, and I was starting to work as an actor at that point. And it gave us some common ground that I think we didn't have because I left home so early and he worked so much.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And when you yourself are acting, do you hear anything in your head that your father, do you have any feelings that you know are from your father as you're doing what he did?
You better be good. You're saying that a lot. Don't embarrass me, you better be good. The one piece of advice that I do remember him giving me, and it seems so simplistic, is don't get caught lying. If you try to lie in a performance, they'll find it. If it says in the script that you have to cry and you're not feeling it, don't. Play it another way.
Right.
You have to find how you're going to play that character, and that has to come from an honest place within you. And like any son who's given advice from their father, I tried it the other way a couple times. And yeah, kind of like, am I still bleeding? And I got smacked for it. So he was very right.
It seems so simple, but I'm guessing it's probably about the most difficult thing to actually execute.
For me, it'll take the rest of my life to, hopefully to figure it out.
How are things on 24?
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're in the middle of shooting episodes 11 and 12. And we've had such amazing fans through the 5.5 years that we've been making the show. And at the beginning, we start to go to air in January. And we're at that point now where we've done enough episodes that we're chomping at the bit for people to see it, but it's also a very nerve-wracking time. We are cautiously optimistic, and we hope the fans enjoy it as much as we've enjoyed making it.
It's turned out to be a very nice thing for you.
Been the greatest gift of my life from a career perspective, yeah.
Now let's talk about your other interest, music and running a record label. And touring with this band, and what I saw of the documentary.
I don't really run the record label.
Okay.
I write the checks for the record label.
Ooh. It seemed like you ought to get to run a little of it if you're writing the checks.
Well, you'll see when we talk about the film, I made the mistake of thinking the same thing. One of my best friends, a guy named Jude Cole, is the creative partner of this endeavor, and he's a phenomenal singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. He's actually played on your show. He had a bunch of top 10 hits in the 90s and is now producing records. And we started this small label. We wanted to just focus on 1 or 2 acts at a time.
The name of the label is?
Ironworks.
Ironworks.
Yep. And then Rocco DeLuca and the Burden was the first band that we signed.
And these are the guys that you're traveling with through Europe.
Yeah.
It feels like half a dozen places, London, Iceland.
We all became really great friends when they were making the record. And one of their great philosophies, I think so often we hear these amazing numbers in the entertainment business. A film made $148 million, or 15 million people saw your television show. This band truly believes that they can go out and make a difference to 20 people in one night, to 100 people in one night. And that kind of passion is infectious. And so I wanted to go on this trip, so I made the terrible mistake of suggesting that I would be their tour manager.
So then now you have to solve every problem that arises.
It would have been great if I had solved one. I seemingly, through the course of the film, was the problem that arose. So
let's when we come back, we'll take a look at the movie I Trust You to Kill Me, Kiefer Sutherland and the band. Boy, nice
Little
going,
Terry
Paul.
Kath.
That's very, very nice.
We should rest in case.
The song that they were just playing, 2506-4,
Great Chicago hit.
My daughter's father wrote that song.
Wrote the song.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. The documentary that we were talking about, the band will be on a little bit later in this program, and we're going to look at a clip from the film now. Kiefer, tell us what it's going to be about.
The clip that you're going to see is just a brief explanation. It's the very beginning of the film, where some of my friends are trying to figure out why on earth I'm doing this, and it gives you a quick glimpse of the band, and just sets up what the tour is going to be. And at the very end of the clip, I'm quite honest about my qualifications.
But what I like about this is we get to see a little bit of the documentary, and then later we get to actually hear the band. And when I was watching it, there's a part where I believe you have arrived in London, and it's your responsibility now to go around waking people up. or somebody's coming to wake you up. And clearly it's quite early after the all-night flight or whatever, and I just said, no, better him than me.
Well, it was one. Have you ever had one of those fantastic ideas that when actually put into reality or practice, it's just, oh my God, what was I thinking?
I know, I wanted my own show.
Well, this was exactly one of those ideas.
Let's take a look.
Music transports me emotionally faster than anything. As an artist, I think he's absolutely pure. There are times in my life that I would take certain jobs that maybe weren't the right thing to take. But Rocco's never done that.
The most excited I've ever seen Kiefer, talking about the tour, talking about the band that he's helping get off the ground.
He's kind of playing their tour manager. Now, if you know Kiefer well, organization is not his middle name.
I have no idea what we're doing.
A vote of confidence for the band. Yeah. I Trust You to Kill Me. You can see it beginning November 11th, 9 p.m. on VH1. We'll look for the band in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Congratulations on the grand. We'll be back, everybody, with Jennifer Fisher.